Episode 2 of FBK Hustlers recently dropped, and it is about DJ Coach losing 700,000 Rand. I'm always gonna call out the things that I find problematic in these things that these guys put out. So let's get into it. My commentary can only start at the 40-minute mark because this is where things switch over to a more forex conversation. But as you guys can judge by the title of this second episode, losing 700,000 Rand. Now, first off, I would like to preface my commentary by saying I do not hate DJ Coach, but these are a lot of things that just had me confused and just didn't make sense to me in the first place. So I'm not saying DJ Coach is a scam in this episode. All I'm saying is these are the things that's not making sense to me. Let me start by the things that I can commend DJ Coach on. I saw new characters being introduced to the screens. I saw a development of storyline. I saw more scenes because I remember in episode 1 we were just only limited to 2 scenes, but now we are introduced here to so many different scenes, so that obviously indicates there's more stories coming. It seems like the visuals have also cleared up, and I'm so glad for that because you guys are portraying yourselves to be millionaires, so your visuals got to be correspondent of that. So the first scene in this whole thing for me that seems really fake is where he steps into the office with Bianca that also just got introduced to us. And the thing that makes me believe that all of this was just a setup is when you look at these files, you will see that they are actually empty. So it's just placed there to make the desk look busy and to make the desk look full so that it doesn't seem like there's nothing going on in DJ Coach's life. His posture at the desk is also really cringeworthy and highly questionable, but also this scene is really important because this is where they set up the storyline for the 700,000 Rand.
The actual problem.
How
are the costs, man?
We're currently looking at about 790,000 Rand currently. And yes, there's just a lot that's going on. So we need your input. We need you here.
7 what?
790,000, sir.
Bianca.
Yes.
When is it needed?
As soon as possible, actually.
From across all the companies, I've created more than 65 job opportunities, and not even one time I ever came across a video on YouTube saying DJ Coach has created job opportunities for unemployed graduates. Same as I'm seeing videos on YouTube saying the RS7 that is currently outside has been repossessed. The same people who are doing these videos, I've never seen them do the positive side.
In this confessional, DJ Coach speaks about how he has created over 65 jobs and he never ever seen a YouTube video that gives him credit for it. And I can confidently sit here and say that you won't get a video that says you have created over 65 jobs. And the reason for that is we can't verify the information. So my suggestion for that, DJ Coach, is that you mention and you name these various companies that you have that has created these over 65 jobs so that we can check it out for ourselves. One thing that he also does really well is mentioning things, but he never ever shows you guys where it actually is. Like for instance, I've exposed him for the RS7 being repossessed, which is, it's actually me he's talking about there, but he doesn't show you guys that the RS7 is actually outside. He just mentions it, and gullible and vulnerable people is actually gonna sit there and believe him. And let me just show you guys how much that bothers him, because here is another moment where I live in his head rent free.
So problem one one. The haters jaga adina zaga. So every time we get a legally, I find out that motho teng ikole o na worth 9,200. Ke ga 9,000 jo. So that's why ke ba tlohela banano ra ke na wang.
So at the 54th minute, this is where the storyline for the 700,000 Rand actually continues. And it continues with Fosh Kama-like being busy and entering a trade by mistake.
No, wala ish, begin bizga phone, no. So well.
What in the motherfucker is happening here?
Would you trade a mistake?
Now, I want you guys to pay attention to one thing. This was set up as the trade was entered by mistake. So this scene where Fosh enters the trade by mistake, it's almost like a doom and gloom type of vibe. And DJ Coach further confirms that there was no analysis for this trade, there was no strategy for this trade, and it comes down to pure gambling.
The same thing that I've warned him about is happening. He has opened a trade by mistake using one-click trading, meaning that no analysis, no strategies was done. That is just pure gambling.
But I was a little bit confused there, because if it's gambling, you're gonna try and save your capital. You're not gonna be worried about profits, right? So why would they continue holding that trade? Or is it just another fake storyline? Or they may be creating drama that isn't there? And you guys must understand, at this point, the trade has gone into profit a couple of times where they could have just closed it and saved the capital and waited up until the trade or pair that they are looking to trade falls in line with their requirements for taking a trade. But nope, they let that thing run. And again, at the 58th minute, guys, to me, this is just pure and simple poor acting. Here, this guy Fosh admits to having analyzed this thing for a buy. But this whole time now, you guys have pretended, oh, this was not the trade. You were not supposed to enter this trade. It is gonna go the other direction. Can't you guys have analyzed for this?
I'm for sure. No, but we analyze it. Buy.
So why act like you didn't want to buy? Again, this is just poor acting and poor scripting. Yes. So another thing that is just highly confusing to me is where they are admitting that the trade is running past the profit target. Now I ask you again, a trade that has been entered by mistake. By mistake, does it have a profit target? And also keep in mind, this comes from the very same people that says they don't believe in a take profit. At 1 hour and 2 minutes, the account eventually blew. Now, this sets up and creates a new storyline for the third episode, because it's going to be a case of, okay, how now? How are you going to go forward from here? And my suspicions makes me believe that this is the part where most of the cars got repossessed, and they are going to play it down as if they had to sell cars to make up that deficit. But also listen to how they lost the 700,000 rand.
Jalo no account le blowile 500,000 profit gone, 200,000 deposit gone.
700,000 rand is comprised of 500,000 rand that is supposed profits and 200,000 rand that was deposited. Now, we all know as traders, these guys lost 200,000 rand. They didn't lose 700,000 rand. The account had to blow so that they can be in episode 3. That theory of mine, I don't know why I felt like I had to say it, but I feel like it's gonna hold some water. And for that, we're gonna have to stick for episode 3 to see how that all turns out. I'll see you guys then for another review of FBK Hustlers.